He was only doing his job. He was just trying to come home. That's what they say about police officers who never make it back. And on a quiet September evening in 2000, one of those officers was 31-year-old William Toney, a husband, a father of 2 little girls, and a dedicated member of the Beech Grove Police Department. Today, nearly 25 years later, the man who killed him, Benjamin Donnie Ritchie, is scheduled to die by lethal injection on May 20, 2025. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe for more true crime stories, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a bite-sized but chilling update like this one. Benjamin Ritchie's life didn't begin with much hope. Born in 1980 into chaos, instability, abuse, neglect, he never stood a chance. His mother, who battled addiction during pregnancy, abandoned him twice before he turned 3. Diagnosed with bipolar disorder and cognitive impairments, Ritchie struggled through school and never made it past 9th grade. By 18, he was behind bars for burglary. At 20, he was on probation, and spiraling. Then came the night of September 29, 2000. Ritchie and 2 others stole a white van from a gas station. Hours later, Officer Matthew Hickey spotted the vehicle and gave chase. Joined by fellow officers Robert Mercury and William Toney. The van finally stopped. The suspects scattered on foot. Officer Toney pursued Ritchie. Seconds later, 4 gunshots. One of them struck Officer Toney in the chest, just above his bulletproof vest. He died where he fell. He'd only been a police officer for 2 years. A father. A husband. A protector. Now, a casualty. Ritchie was arrested the next day, hiding out with the help of his friend, Michael Moody. But it was too late. William Toney was gone. The trial didn't drag. Prosecutors went for the death penalty. Ritchie's own accomplice, Michael Greer, testified against him to save his own skin. He said Ritchie was desperate not to go back to prison, and willing to kill to avoid it. On August 10, 2002, Ritchie was found guilty of murder. His defense tried to play the mental health card, childhood trauma, bipolar disorder, cognitive impairment, but the jury wasn't moved. 4 days later, he was sentenced to death. He reportedly laughed when the verdict was read. In court, Officer Toney's widow, D.D., addressed him through tears. "You're not sorry," she said. "You're a coward." For over 2 decades, Benjamin Ritchie sat on death row at the Indiana State Prison. He filed appeal after appeal, citing everything from fetal alcohol syndrome to ineffective legal counsel. But nothing stuck. During that time, something unexpected happened. Ritchie entered into a romantic relationship with a Swedish woman named Ivana, after she saw him in a YouTube documentary and felt compelled to reach out. What began as letters turned into something more. Ivana flew from Sweden to visit him, multiple times. And because she traveled so far, prison staff granted her longer visitation periods. Their bond grew intense. So intense, in fact, that the two concocted a bold, and frankly, cinematic, plan. Ivana would hijack a helicopter and break Ritchie out of prison. Yes, really. But when the time came, Ritchie called it off. He said he couldn't let her risk her life for him. The plan's collapse devastated Ivana. She fell into a deep depression and developed a heroin addiction. Eventually, she found her way back to life, and to herself, after the birth of her daughter, Iris. She got clean. She focused on being a mother. And she made the difficult choice not to look Ritchie up again, unwilling to reopen old wounds or reignite the pain. In 2024, Indiana resumed executions for the first time in 15 years. The moratorium was lifted with the execution of another inmate, Joseph Corcoran. Ritchie, now 44, was next. In April 2025, the Indiana Supreme Court officially set his execution date, May 20. A clemency petition was filed, and during the first hearing, Ritchie finally expressed remorse. He said he was no longer the same person. That he was sorry. But at the second hearing, the room was packed with those who remembered Officer William Toney, his daughters, his friends, his fellow officers. They described a man who served with honor, who loved deeply, and who paid the ultimate price. They asked the parole board not to show mercy. Ritchie's final appeal to the U.S. Supreme Court is still pending. But unless something changes fast, his life will end just before dawn on May 20th. The death of Officer Toney wasn't just a headline. It left 2 little girls without their dad. A wife with a lifetime of grief. A community forever changed. In the years after his death, people came together, holding benefit concerts, raising funds, sharing memories. His widow, now Dee Dee Horan, has since remarried, but she never stopped honoring William's legacy. Every year, she hosts a cornhole tournament in his name. She's even said she forgave Ritchie. But she never stopped believing justice had to be done. Now, after 25 years, justice seems close. As Benjamin Ritchie's final moments draw near, we're reminded once again of the cold, unchanging rhythm of death row. There are no pauses here. No time to look back. When one case reaches its end, another quietly steps forward to take its place. And now, that place belongs to Oscar Smith. Smith has spent decades behind bars, years marked not by freedom, but by the sound of doors locking, the shuffle of routine, and the distant echo of time running out. His name has lingered on the execution list before, but now, it seems, the end is finally drawing close. With his execution date looming, questions begin to stir. Who is Oscar Smith? What brought him to this point? And what will his final words be when the time comes? In my next video, we'll step into the shadows of Smith's final chapter. The final meal. The last statement. The eerie calm before the end. So if you followed the story of Benjamin Ritchie, don't go far. Oscar Smith is next. And his story is one you won't want to miss. Thank you for watching. If you believe stories like this deserve to be told, please like, comment, and subscribe. What do you think? Is justice being served? Let us know your thoughts below. Until next time, stay safe, stay curious, and take care of each other.